All right.
All right, before we get into the competition, we got a couple of announcements. Verlin's going to need help getting images picked up.
Okay, so we have two shows ending this month. We have the Pflugerville Library Show, which we pick up on the 12th. And then we have the West Pecan Coffee Shop, which ends on the 22nd, 19th, because we moved it to Friday instead of Monday. Yeah. So the Friday before the 22nd, I think it's the 19th. Both of those shows are ending, and I will not be around to help coordinate picking those up. So Clay will be your point of contact to help pick those up. Thank you, Clay. Also, we have a new date for West Pecan in October of this year. So got that lined up. It'll be October to November. So start getting pictures ready.
Okay, so for the library pickup, what is the time?
Afternoon, 2:30 to 5:30.
Okay.
2:30 to 5:30 in the
I'm out
afternoon.
of town and I'll be coming back, so I just want to be sure that I can get back. It's not early. I
And the
can,
library closes at 6.
okay, but before 5 is fine.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we appreciate, we can always pick up your pictures and we can arrange to bring them to the next meeting. Or you can come by one of our houses. We'll figure something out for you.
But you have to let us know in advance because that's a lot of pictures at the library.
Yeah, there, how many? 48 or
I
something?
think it's 48. Yeah.
Yeah, 48. So cool. So anything else?
That's it for me.
Okay. As the membership coordinator, I'm pleased to welcome renewals. Last month it was Tim Levin, Leslie Chatham, and Evelyn Bunton renewed. And this month in June, Robert Cartwright, a new member, I hope he comes, and Roger Edwards, who's been a member in the past and renewed his membership. Nick Grossman renewed, and David Petit. So that was a pretty good thing that we had people renew in June. And Paula?
Today.
Oh, she renewed today. Well, that's good. Thank you, Paula. And we want to welcome Flo. Flo also is a new member with David. And so we're pleased to have her here with us. So good to meet you all. That's it for me. Ready?
Patrick's going to tell us about our speakers, next 3 speakers, I think.
Woo. There we go. Stand up there. Oh my God, he wants me to stand up here. 2 weeks ago when I came up here, I was just like comatose because I was still on some other time. But okay, so 2 weeks from now, we have Roy. I'm terrible with it. I'm sorry. Art? Nordic. And he will be speaking next in 2 weeks. And it's his topic is non-technical. It's how you take an image after you've captured it and basically work to get it where your mind's eye actually saw it. It's how we all see pictures. We think we see things up here and the camera and these 2 eyes in the front see it completely different. And so his topic is to discuss how you move it from what you saw, what the camera captured, to actually making it into a real image. So that'll be the first one. And then the following month, we have this young man, Gary, Mr. Hook. He will be discussing, what are you discussing?
I'm still debating a title, official title, but basically it's quick and easy edits, dodging and burning.
Aha. Quick and easy edits, dodging and burning. It'll be very, very informative. Lightroom.
All in Lightroom.
All in Lightroom.
All in Lightroom.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know anything about Lightroom, sorry. No. Okay. And then after that, our fearless leader.
Fearfully.
Oh, a fearful leader. In other words, he hasn't put his presentation together yet, ladies and gentlemen. So, and if we're looking for, no, I'm waiting for, wait a minute. Oops, our third judge is not going to be able to make it this evening. Okay, so I just sent her a note saying, gosh, gee whiz. She just sent me a note saying not going to be able to make it. So that's, you guys get to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Going back to our presentations, Roy is a master photographer, master artist, master craftsman, all degrees in PPA. He regularly wins Texas PPA competitions. He is just a stellar photographer. So it's very much worth being here and see how he takes an image that he captured and turns it into a piece of art that's award-winning. Now to the lesser presentation, I'm going to talk about 4 weeks out, 5 weeks out, something like that. I'm going to talk about the Lightroom library module and how to manage and cull your images and how to keep up with what you have archived.
Wonderful.
Gary, I think unless anyone else has an announcement, Gary, it's your show, sir.
Okay. So, howdy, everyone. So our competition this month is themed open. So all bets are off, right? So we're going to see a lot of different cool things. Welcome your judges. So we got Mary and
Robert.
thank you. I was going to Roger, but I'm terrible with names, and so Robert.
Me too. I sympathize totally.
And unfortunately, we're missing Jill this evening. We don't know why. So we're going to fill in. But I'm going to turn it over to Mary to say a few opening remarks.
This was hard. We had a lot of great images this month, especially diverse since it was open. And we had some hard decisions to make, but that's why we get the big bucks.
That's right.
Since we don't have Jill with us, and I've been wanting to do this for a while anyway, I'm going to encourage, if anybody is just dying to say something like, Mary, you're full of shit, do it. And speak up, let's talk about it, rather than you sitting here listening to us. Well, you should, but then if you have something to say, let's have it. Yeah. No, any photo, not my photo, no way. Unless you love it.
Mary, you're full of.
But no, after the judge says what they have to say about it, if you want to put your hand up and say, I completely disagree, or yes, or let's talk about this aspect of it, let's have it. Yeah.
We probably all hate it when social media people do this, but why don't we could pass this around?
No, that's why we have the handhelds. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to say something, raise your hand and we'll get a handheld to you and you can talk. Okay. Cool beans. All right. Good to go?
Good to go.
All right.
All right.
And we got the screen cleaned up. Thank you, Ty, for that. I always forget that part. Okay. So first category, basic. And let's see if I can do this here. All right. So I will read the titles. I will try to read the titles here. Sneaky Snack.
Is that one of yours?
He goes through them first.
Beware the Viper.
Say it.
Good luck with that one.
Say it.
Morinos al Norte? Maybe? That's best as I'm going to get here. Who's catching who? I love my grill friends. Okay. All right. So click on that. And what we're going to do is turn it over to you guys.
Okay, I'm talking about Sneaky Snack. It's a very attractive photo, obviously, of a very dramatic moment. The focus is very sharp where it should be sharp. The light is good. The colors are very attractive. What's going on out there, Patrick? Okay, kids on bikes. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so capturing a very dramatic moment. So it's kind of one of those decisive moment things. Very interesting and vibrant color scheme. Basically complementary colors, which is mostly green, and then that dot of red in the middle, which is a very strong complementary color scheme. And so this picture is very attractive, very dramatic. It's got a lot going for it. Now, to my mind, it could have used quite a bit of cropping, because that blob on the right just really distracts my eye. So I really wanted it cropped in really close. I wanted to be right up there with the spider and the beetle. And I think it could have benefited from a lot of cropping, which would have made it more dramatic and minimized or gotten rid of entirely the distracting elements on the edge. But all in all, definitely a decisive moment. Dramatic photo, well seen and well captured.
Onward?
I tried to do this with two parrots one time. I had a big leaf over there on the right-hand side, and I didn't have a very good lens. And I got slaughtered in my other photography group I was in for the very same thing. It was a leaf too. So I realized, if it's not out of focus at all, you know, if you don't have soft focus, it's particularly not a good idea. But anyway, a nice photo though. I think the sharpness does indicate that they could have gone in a little closer. Yeah.
Cool. All right, onward. Let's see, this way. Beware the Viper.
Okay. I like the title and kudos for seeing this and taking a picture of it before it left the scene. I like the soft focus on the grass in the foreground. You want me to talk softer or? No. No, okay. And the way the snake's head is positioned between the blades. This is a tight scene, so that depth of field, you can't tell here, but it is really small. I looked at a number of photos of snakes, and taking a good picture of a snake is really difficult, especially if they are in the wild. You know, it's all meant to camouflage, and it even camouflages itself. You know, the head is not that much different than the tail, so it can make it kind of difficult. And you know, on my monitor, you do get a clear idea though, so kudos for that, of what's going on with the snake. The left eye seems to be very much in focus, but the right eye is at the back edge of the depth of field. So I would like to see the back of that depth of field extended a little further. Maybe this image could have been a little stronger. And this is just a guess. If this photographer had moved a little to the right and the snake eyes were looking more directly into the camera, but that's just a guess. But very nicely done. No, we do have a mic for you though.
Yeah.
This is Jill.
Sorry, I forgot, but I was also at my daughter's birthday.
That's important.
Daughter's birthday is a good excuse.
And
So glad to see you.
what am I supposed to do? They're good.
And just clip that on, not that one, this one. Is it okay if you want to do it?
Please do it.
Okay,
Get her wired up here.
okay.
Your timing is impeccable. You're next up, it turns out.
Holy cow. And I am just gonna speak in extemporaneously, if that's okay.
Okay. If you want to scooch over so you can see
So she can
the
see the-
I'd
monitor.
like to see the, can we keep going this way? Keep going.
Okay.
Sure,
Leave the
sure.
table.
Jill, yeah. Jill has taken over now the proceedings.
What I do for a living.
Are we good?
We're good.
Okay, I did everything you wanted to say?
Oh,
On the Viper?
I think so, yeah, very very nicely done.
Don't want to cut you off. That's, okay. All right. Next one is, and again, my butchering of the title, Morinos a Nuite.
And I like to stand when I talk. So I really was compelled by this photo, and my background is in photojournalism and documentary work. So I like a story, you know, and so there's a story here, and I'm like, ooh, what is it? I want to see this image from back here though. When I look at it, I really like the colors. You know, it drew me in, and you know, there's a mystery going on. And my only critique, and all photos are wonderful, is that I would really play with your levels there, you know. So, and sometimes it's hard because you're working on that curve, and I can see that curve. And so what's level, what's really level? But I think pulling up that right just a tad would, you know, I'm wanting to go like this every time I look at a photo, but otherwise it's a very compelling catch. You saw something and there's a great mystery there, and I really like it. Where was it located? Do you know? Where is that?
That's to stay incognito for now.
Oh, for pity's sake. Okay,
All
fine.
right.
Am I?
Once again, just a reminder, this screen does not do some of these photos justice.
I can tell that, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And now we are at Who's Catching Who?
First of all, let me say I worked too long as an editor. It should be who's catching whom.
Yay, grammar comes.
It's a wonderful photo, and you who know me know I always hate bear photos. But this one is just, it's technically excellent. And it's funny, and it tells a story. And I'm a fan of, in a way that I rarely go for in wildlife-y photos. And the title is funny, and I can be grouchy about cutesy titles too, but everything works about this photo for me. The colors are vibrant, but not oversaturated to my eye. The focus is right where it should be on that bear that is sitting there looking like a dog, panting, and looking at, smiling, dog smile at those fishermen who seem completely oblivious in that are actually pointing at something off screen when there is a bear sitting right there. And this, I just really love this photo. And even the small details, like the fact that the fishing pole and the line builds this frame over the bear. And I just really love this photo, and I've got nothing really bad to say about it except for the who versus whom. And
Titling is so important.
I know I'm gonna talk a lot about titling tonight, especially, but in terms of capturing a moment, the maker of this one might have taken a dozen, or knowing some of us, 50 photos of this very thing. If so, they were either very lucky or they were able to choose the one where the fishermen are looking up completely, apparently not worried or oblivious to the bear sitting right there. The bear is perfect, just enough of his face to feel like he's kind of thinking about his next meal or laughing or something there. And I love this. I love the photo. Yeah.
All right. And finally, I love my grill friends.
Okay. This is an interesting composition and reminds us how cool cars used to look. All of the exposures are spot on and appear to have been taken in the sunlight without any overexposed glares, which I know is really hard when your metal surfaces are curved. So congratulations on that. The composition is highly structured with 4 photos on the left and 4 on the right, obviously. Because of this, though, we notice any deviation from one photo to the other. And even though the intended focus is the grills, we do notice the license plates that are cut off at the bottom of some of these. And the headlights on the car in the upper right-hand corner, those are gone too. The middle separating line shifts on the 3rd and 4th row. And because there are so many lines in this composition, maybe a border between the images would have helped. But it's a really nice, it's difficult to balance objects that have a different width and different length. So I applaud the compromises you made to bring these images together. And I could see this image ending up as a poster of some sort with a little tweaking. So congratulations.
Okay. All right, so that is that. So we're going to get the judges' choices here on those. So I'm guessing, yeah. So 3rd place, I love my grill friends, Clay Leben. Microphone somewhere for him? Yeah, there's one back there.
So this was just something I started to play with. I had gone to the Pflugerville and to Georgetown hot rod shows and just found I had a collection of these. The title, which I thought was so humorous, you didn't mention, but it also gave me a chance to play with Photoshop and how easy it can be once you learn how to manage the layers and the make a collage. So it was a good test of my, I guess, still very much beginner Photoshop skills.
Did you use a template in Photoshop for
I
the,
started to use a template. There are some templates that you
Yeah.
can use for collages.
but you just,
I just kind of worked on
Manually.
it and worked on it to make sure they were all kind of the same
yeah.
grill size.
And good on you, Clay, for saying, I'm going to use this as a way to learn this specific
Yes.
thing. That's,
Thank you. Yes,
Good for you.
yes, it
Yeah.
very much was learning.
Yeah.
Took months.
Be able to put that all together.
yes.
Look at that.
Well,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. It was kind of outside the box, I know, for our contest.
Get
I
out,
want to mention, go ahead.
I'm just saying, get out there outside the box.
Yeah. I want to mention too, a lot of, Photoshop can be a lot for some people. Photoscape is really affordable. It's only $40, one-time fee. And it has, along with editing, tools, it has templates like this. And you can even like put in a number like, instead of 8 boxes, I want 10, and it figures out ways to, and you can have a border or not have a border. But I've at times put together stuff like this, and it was so easy. And like each of those pictures inside the little square, you can move them around or make them smaller or bigger. So if you don't know about that, Photoscape is a great alternative.
Cool.
Y'all might have, since I'm new, y'all might have talked about it endlessly, but.
All right, all right. Second place is Marinas Enuite, Christopher Umstead. Oh. Not here? Okay, not online? No? Okay, cool. And first place in basic this month is Who's Catching Whom? Leslie Eve? Oh. No, I get the last name right. Is it okay, thank you. Super, thank you.
Thank you for your sweet critique. This was one of my favorites too, because it told a story. And I was in Alaska in Katmai. I was on a dinghy. I probably took 1,000 pictures of just that, but I didn't know what I had till I got home and saw it on the screen. So I didn't plan it. It just happened. But a little side note, the bears were catching the fish from the fishermen, and the rangers there were shooting them with paintballs. And some of the bears have big red spots of paint on them. And this one doesn't. It may be on the other side of him, but I just thought they were trying to change the bear's behavior. But it was once in a lifetime.
So the fishermen would catch a fish and the bears would go grab it?
That's what we were told. Yes. They've gotten smart. Thank you.
Wow. Awesome, okay. All right, so people's choice. Let's see what the people say. People's choice. No, and people's choice. We have Christopher Umstead in third. Awesome. I'm sorry, bronze. Silver is Clay Levin. I love my girlfriends. And gold goes to Leslie. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Any comments on any of those? We want to share anything? No?
I don't know whether the original image had the contrast so you could see the footsteps in it or not.
Yeah, we've tried. This has probably been as good as it's going to get. Yeah, on this monitor, unfortunately.
That adds to the story.
Okay, we're going to go to intermediate. All right, here we go. Go around once to the thing. Cuteness overload. Arches of light. Pretty in pink. Basking in sunlight. A legacy of heritage and wisdom. Foggy morning, Smithville, Texas. About to take a nap. And finally, 2 butts and a foot. All right. This. And it is over to you guys.
Bill, is that you maybe?
I mean, I don't know.
We're gonna give it to you then.
Give it to you.
I enjoyed this photo. I think, I would have loved to have more shots taken and have the deer looking at me. I mean, what a great catch, great color, great light. You can see the tawniness of the deer and the little fawn doing what the fawns do. I think if there was another shot in there, I would have liked the deer's head up looking at me. But otherwise, a really great color, great cropping and focus in, good image.
Gary, can you get rid of all that stuff at the top?
Pardon me?
Can you get rid of all that stuff
Oh.
at the top?
Did that come back? Sorry about that. I think it was, if I can see that.
High video panel, maybe. There we go.
There we go. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, that makes it
Apologies.
even better. That it was kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, that make the blue water behind it is really compelling.
Okay,
Okay.
onward. Okay, arches of light.
This is a beautiful photo, and I've tried to shoot the same mission in San Antonio, so I know there's so much going on there. It's such a complicated architectural thing that it's really hard to capture it. And I think the maker here has done a really good job. Obviously, it's a beautiful weather day, bright sunlight, so you really get those shadows receding into the distance, all the leading lines leading back toward the spire, the dome at the back. Very well seen. It's a very good organization of a architectural thing that can be very overwhelming. So very much kudos to the maker on that. The contrast of the textures, you could feel the texture of that old stone versus the blue sky versus the foliage and all that sort of stuff. The exposure is quite good. The composition, I have a lot of good things to say about that. So all in all, I would say very successful photo. I liked it a lot. I admire it a lot. The reservations I have are, I want to see more on the left. I want to see the completion of that arch. So I don't know if this is a crop or if there's a little bit more on the left, or if there's something on the left we didn't want to see that got cropped out. I just wish there was just a little bit more so that we could see the completion of that arch to complete the framing of the image. And so there may be reasons for that we don't know about, but I would like that. Also, this is really nitpicky. The spire on top of the dome disappears behind the arch, and this is super nitpicky, but that's why I get the big bucks. The issue that brings up to me is when we're shooting, most of us stand, take our camera to our eye and shoot. What I try in my own work to explore, and what I would urge, especially intermediate and beginners and everybody actually, squat, climb up on something, try everything. It's so easy to get into the habit of, I'm standing here, I have my camera, I'm going to shoot. But, go down, sit down, squat down, get up on something, try everything. So even minor little things that might be a little bit better if you were just a little bit lower, try to work on that. But all in all, a very successful, very attractive photo.
Right. All right, onward to Pretty in Pink.
Okay. The colors in this photo are exceptional and complement each other perfectly. Since there is so much green foliage, the white lines on the leaves really help this photo. We all agree that the photo would be stronger with a little more room at the top and probably less at the bottom. And if you have access to Photoshop, of course, it does a really good job of creating headroom. It's one of the things that I'm starting to let myself do. I had trouble with it, the AI at first, but that is something I feel really is a great reason to use AI. It's just to create a little headroom at the top. It's just a beautiful photo, very pleasing to the eye. I think the simplicity of it is part of the appeal.
I'll jump in here and say, I agree with Robert in the fact that one of the AI things I'm allowing myself to do is, okay, generative expand. Give me a little bit more at the top. And does anybody have any comments on that, on using AI to generative expand? Use the microphone.
It's a program on one or N1, which has this generative expansion.
What was that?
Photoshop or Lightroom has a extend the canvas.
Extend the canvas, okay.
Right.
Generative expand the canvas.
Canvas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
How do you feel about that kind of photographic ethics? Does anybody have comments on that? Borderline?
I'm
Yeah.
borderline on it.
When you get to be my age, and it's hard to see stuff, you might be a little more, but when we're in the moment, it's so hard to know if your composition is exactly the way you want it. And Gary, what was your term you used on margins?
Shoot with margin.
Shoot with margins. Love that term.
Yes.
But anyway,
Yeah, it's one of the ones I'm a little bit, but giving myself a little bit more on the edge here and there, I'm okay with that, but it's something I am considering. How far am I going to let AI improve my stuff?
yeah,
It's a work in progress in
it's
my brain.
it is a quandary.
It's a quandary. Erlen?
So, as someone who is ruthlessly using things like composites and things for my own purposes, that gets into a gray area. Like Gary says, shoot with margin. And
Yeah.
isn't that how we separate the really good photographers from the intermediate photographers, that you did it right in the first place?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you make a good picture and that is the end goal. But, if you're saying, how good is this photograph? Well, or how good is my Photoshop AI? How good is my subscription? And I don't want to compete in that realm.
Shelton?
I guess I have a slightly different take if you're using it as you're talking about, because I could take the same photograph and expand the canvas and use cloning to achieve the same thing without doing generative AI. So the only difference to me is generative AI is making it quicker to do it, but you could do the same thing and people do. So I think where you get into issue is if you start adding things that were not really there
Yes.
in the photo.
I agree with Shelton. If you're adding things or subtracting things, I'm not against it. Like with Verlin's work and his composites, they're beautiful. And I don't feel like he's trying to trick anyone like he really was, with Little Red Riding Hood out there in the forest, because that's just a different thing to me. Or I'm working more with composites. But when it comes to the fact that you're actually adding stuff that's not there in a way, in a photo that looks relatively straight, that's where it gets into a definite gray area for me, but it's what every photographer has to decide.
I like getting rid of power lines and trash and stuff.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So how is that really different from adding things, I mean, we're all critiquing these photos and saying, oh, if you'd just taken that leaf out, or if you just, removed that piece of lint or whatever, that's editing, that's photo editing. So how is that?
I agree. It's just at what point, getting something pesky out of there or adding a little bit more in. Here comes Verlin.
You're inventing something and putting it in there that wasn't there in the first place versus just, like he said, cloning. You're kind of patching up something that you didn't want there. And to me, there is a distinction that if you're extending the canvas, and it would depend on how much, if I wanted to add 10 pixels to the top of this because there was a rotational error and when I leveled it, I lost something. That's one thing. But when you start extending there's some limit, and it's not hard and fast. As I say, yeah, okay, 21 pixels is bad, 20 pixels is okay. It's not like that. But yeah, I think that when you start adding to the frame pixels that didn't exist in the first place, that
Okay, last comment, and then we're going to cut this off. Okay.
But tell everybody, look,
Sorry,
the speaker that we've got coming in 2 weeks, look at his website and what he has done in adding things into his pictures. And he's a good photographer. So he's doing it and they're beautiful. But look at his website and see. He has a picture where he added cow and fence and a stands, and it just really looks good. I was impressed with what he did.
So back there. So the next time, Patrick, we are missing an educator on a third Thursday, let's have a hot button topics open discussion.
Yeah.
And then we can sit around and talk about things all we want. 'Cause obviously there are things that people feel strongly about or have ideas to share, and we should explore that. I think that'd be a great opportunity for people to just kind of hear and to share about whatever, not just AI, but whatever. So keep that in mind, I think, maybe. Okay, cool. Anyway, fantastic. Love to hear everybody's thoughts on that. That's wonderful, but we're going to move on. So we finished Pretty in Pink, and okay, now we're going to move
Yes,
on
sir.
to Basking in Sunlight. And I
Hey,
think,
Jill.
Jill, this is yours. Who likes to stand back and look at from afar, which I think is great.
I don't have any prepared notes. I like this photo, and once again,
You want to give her the oh, she's got one on. I'm
She's got
sorry.
I
apologize.
like this photo's color, and I like the way it drifted off in the corner. I once again shoot for the margins. You know, I mean, that leaf is, that flower's touching way up top. You know, and I maybe, you know, I would like to see just a little bit of room to give this beautiful flower to move down some. And I would like a little more light here. You know, this is a beautiful leaf. It's extending off. And I would love more light right there to just bring it up a little bit. And, you know, it's something Ansel Adams did. He brought it up with burning and dodging. Now we can do it with Photoshop or Lightroom or whatever. But we're bringing up the color here, just a little bit here. I'm okay with this drifting off. I like this because it's kind of mysterious, but I want to see a little more light here.
I will jump in here and say this week, the Lightroom Online Summit is happening, and I've been taking some of the classes. You can sign up and just watch some of the classes for, it looks like plays in there too. And they are doing some fascinating things, details with masking and radials and all this sort of stuff.
All about masking this year, yes.
About masking and
Yeah.
intersecting maxes and everything, and I'm learning a lot about some of the detail that Jill was talking about, like a little radio mask there and bring it up. It's
You want to be here in July and the third Thursday, because I'll be talking about that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's a radial mask down in that left corner. And that's something to go look up in Lightroom. I do it all the time in Lightroom and sometimes in Photoshop, but the little radial mask, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll screw up a photo and I go, oh, I really screwed this up. And then I'll back up and go, okay,
so that'll be Gary's topic when he talks about
Talk more about that.
that's it.
dodging and
One
burning.
comment on this end.
Yes, sir.
Since it's on a black background,
Oh, the black background, yes.
you can get that extra space above by just moving,
Yeah,
filling the background.
yeah, that'd be easy.
This one, it's not really cheating. It's just, what's the background?
Right.
Okay? All right. On to a legacy of heritage and wisdom.
Again, I'm gonna bitch about titles. A legacy is forward and heritage is backward. So the title is kind of fighting itself, like a legacy of a heritage and a heritage of a legacy, and then of wisdom. I think I get and I appreciate what the maker was going for the title, but it totally put my brain into a twist. And then I went and looked up legacy and I looked up heritage, and I spent too much time thinking about, don't make me do that. I think a very simpler title, it could have been a heritage or a legacy, either of them, but the combination of the title. And I thought about a lot about titles in this round because there were some that worked for me and there were some that kind of muddled my brain. Now, moving on to the actual image itself, which is why we're here. I get I'm pretty sure this is one of those modeling things, maybe at Georgetown, where they have guys, you know, probably a crowd of people following him around. So a lot of this might not have been under the maker's control, but this is a very compelling subject and very strong subject. Could have made a very strong photograph, but I think there are missed opportunities here. For nitpicky, his vest is kind of bunched up, and the maker probably couldn't have gone over and like jerked it into position. And also he's kind of sort of twisted semi-awkwardly away from the camera. He's not full face to the camera and he's not defiantly turned away and he's not even like 3/4. It's kind of like not quite for the fact that it's just a portrait. I think the positioning of the gaze is a little bit off. And his eyes are not quite closed and not quite open again, which is kind of awkward. You can't see his eyes, but you can tell they're not quite closed. So there's a lot of pesky little details that I think keep this from being a very successful portrait, especially in terms of, it could have been a momentary thing in his expression, but he looks pained. He looks like, "Ugh," like that. So all these pesky little details detract from what I think had the potential to be extremely compelling portrait. And I wish, there were 10 other shots. A shot 10 seconds later could have been the one, or 20 seconds earlier, or something like that. And this comes down to what I think we would call working the scene. If there's a model, if you are not in control of the model, if there's 10 other people yelling at him and telling him where to look, just keep going, keep shooting. Like with Leslie, shooting 1,000 photos, sometimes you just got to shoot and shoot and shoot and catch that moment. And which is also a issue of culling, which is another big topic that we should be talking about too. So compelling subject, the technical, the focus and the exposure, and a lot of stuff is going right here. It just kind of misses. So that's, yeah.
Okay. And onward to Foggy Morning, Smithville, Texas.
Okay, this is a strong photo. Vertical photos often do not have the compositional opportunities that horizontal ones have, but this photographer certainly has overcome that challenge here. Foggy photos do often look better in black and white, and so I think that's a good choice. Normally the fog really flattens the light and the image in these types of photos, but the highly reflective rails in this photo kind of solve that issue and bring this photo to another level. The two square objects side by side on the right side of the frame are also, like I was staring at it, they're perfectly contributing to the composition. Otherwise, there would kind of be a little empty area over there. Hopefully you didn't add that with Photoshop. Just kidding. What a gift. The rocks around the rails provide just enough highlights so that you're able to keep the needed details in the stones. Maybe more detail could have been discovered by dodging the rocks between the rails toward the bottom. The rails merge toward the middle before they exit the frame, which is also very pleasing to the eye.
Super. Okay. On to About to Take a Nap. I
That's me, right?
think that's you.
I think so.
It's really hard to see from over there, folks.
I've looked at these many times. I like this photo. I think it's lovely. The colors are great. The sign does not help this image. I wish it would have been great. I know this is what you found, and I really like the colors of the bird's feathers. I would, I don't know whether there was another direction we could take it from, but it works in some ways, but some ways it doesn't. So, as an image quality, technically, it's pretty good, and maybe a little closer to get in on the bird. I don't know what your lens was able to do. I know I struggle with bird photos. I don't take many because I struggle a lot. So I'm really compelled by this little nap and these purplish feathers. So it was a good image. Keep shooting those birds because I think you're going to have great stuff. Well, you know what I mean. Don't shoot the birds, photograph the birds.
And finally, Two Butts and a Foot.
Once again, I'm going against my grain and really liking a wildlife photo because this one is just funny. It's all we're seeing of the, I guess they're bears. Anyway, I guess it's a bear, but again, my liking another bear photo, which is shocking to me. It's funny, and also it catches that moment, and I don't know if you can see it on the screen or if you saw it on your computers at home, but you see the little foot, the foot, the maker caught the foot at just that moment where you see the sole of the foot, which if you're an Islamic bear is a terrible insult to be showing the sole of your foot to someone. So I hope this bear is not Islamic. The haloing of the hair around the smaller animal, I think is a beautiful thing. And in the depth of field, the focus seems to be right just on the smaller bear, on the halo, on the backlit hair, and on the details of the sole of the foot. And to me, the out of focus grass in front works. I often, shallow depth of field nature stuff with out of focus foreground stuff. That's a fine line. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I think in this case, it works really well. So there's a lot of good stuff about this photo, including the title. I love the title. It's humorous without being cutesy poo. So I laughed aloud when I saw the title. So that's all the good stuff. What I've kept thinking about is some pretty extreme cropping. For example, could this work as a portrait? On the left, that green tree, the pine tree, whatever it is very distracting. I don't think it adds anything. And also the tree trunk, the dark line tree trunk. I find it also distracting, but somewhat less so. I think this could work as a square crop. I think it could work as a portrait. Getting rid of especially the tree on the left and maybe figuring out if you need to do something with the tree trunk toward the center. But all in all, very successful, humorous, and it catches just that moment when the foot is just in that right position to be kind of funny. And so all in all, very successful photo. I liked it a lot.
Okay. Down there. Oh, I put it back again, didn't I? Why it does that? Well, I will fix that, folks. Just a second. Oh, good. Okay. And we have an honorable mention, 2 butts and a foot. And you go. Okay. All right. 3rd place, Early Pfeiffer, Basking in Sunlight.
I don't think this monitor does any justice as a photo at all.
It's really hard.
I was really focused on how the light was just hitting the bright part of this flower. I guess I didn't realize about the cropping. I can't remember what I cropped. I did crop it in, but I don't remember about the top. But it just, I don't know, it was just, the light was just
Lovely.
perfect on
Yeah.
on this photo. So
Great.
Well done. Both.
Awesome.
Where's the picture from? Did you take it in your?
I
Tana
well,
Lily.
Wells Branch has a garden tour, and so I took it in somebody's yard on our garden tour in Wells Branch.
Did you darken the background?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you just shot it that dramatically, that dramatic darkness.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
All right. 2nd place goes to Jim McDaniel, Pretty in Pink.
Yeah.
Is he? Awesome.
Hi, Jim. You want to say a few words?
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
There he goes.
okay. Yeah, I saw this on one of my morning walks. And so I went back and to take a picture of it. It was actually in a pot, and there was potted plants all around it and behind it. So I was trying to cut out all of the other leaves and plants and stuff to just focus on that. So that's why I had trouble with not getting space all around, trying to eliminate all the other stuff as distractions. But
Thank
yeah,
you.
I hadn't seen anything like it before, so I thought it was pretty startling.
Cool. Good. Okay.
Great. Beautiful.
Thank you. All right. And in 1st place in intermediate, it's Arches of Light from Lydia O'Neill. who is not online. Right? Okay. Okay, cool. Now, let's see if I can do this correctly. Nope, I don't know why it keeps doing that. That's really weird. People's choice. Go images. Okay. Good, okay. And we have cuteness overload, and that would be bronze. Yay. Dave DeBoer. Think about what I'm doing here, people. Sorry. Okay. Then we have a tie for silver. First of all, let's see. Jim McDaniel, Pretty in Pink. And Arches of Light, Lydia O'Neill, also silver. But the people decided that the gold goes to Jill Manlove, Mayfield, Foggy Morning, Smithville, Texas. Tell us about it.
Well, I have property outside of Smithville, and when the fog comes out, usually I sit and drink my coffee and motor around. I roll myself out of bed. I've been known to run across the field in my pajamas on a foggy morning, but I was driving around town and I just like, holy cow, and that's usually how they are. This is a switching box. So, and I promise. I liked it dark where it was, you said to bring it up a little bit, but it could have, and I could have done that, but I really like those shiny rails drawing me in, because gosh, if there's a fence or a line of anything that draws me into a photo, I'm going to take a picture of it, because I'm just a sucker for something to draw me in and draw the linger in. But thank you. I really enjoyed taking this photo, and it was a joy when it came up in the screen and you're like, oh man. And I did pull in way in on it. Because I couldn't get too much farther because I was going to have to go over a fence into LCRA property, and I didn't want to do that. So I'm shooting over a fence.
Right, cool. Okay, and that is intermediate for
Were
this
there honorable
month.
mentions?
Yeah, we did
Oh, we did them.
yeah, the deer.
Oh,
Right, so we're going to move to advanced now. If I'm doing this correctly.
Pat, can we use that? Oh, we can use that restroom.
Okay. And we're going to go boom. Let's see, hold on. Hold on. Okay, stop that. Okay, balancing act. Right. Okay. No straws needed. Crawl, princess. I'm guessing here, Uvas spiral. Helplessly hoping. Amorphic one. A glimpse of warmth within. Those eyes. Lounging in a haunted house. The look of love. And into the clouds. All right, so do this over here. We'll go back to balancing act and over to you guys.
okay. The composition of this photo is excellent. The lines in the two main wings are very interesting and very sharp. From the middle of the wing down to the bottom. The dragonfly's tail pointing to the right and object he is standing on pointing to the left are very pleasing to the eye. And I think that's maybe a cactus needle. But anyway, whatever he's standing on, the fact that it narrows to a point elevates how interesting this photo is. The different splashes of color in the background are also very nice. The body and the head do not seem to be in as sharp focus as those wings, which is a little confusing. But anyway, there is a grid pattern in the background. Now, interestingly enough, I went on the library photos today that are in the library, Pflugerville Library show, and this photo is in there. And I didn't see that grid pattern on those photos on my computer. So I don't know exactly what's going on there, but anyway. I'd like to see the entire dragonfly
In the
focus.
library, there was a different picture.
Overall, though, a very interesting photo, really great. And what were you saying? Someone was saying something?
I was saying that in the library, there is a different picture.
The different picture.
Oh, okay,
Oh, okay.
okay. Not the same person. Thank you.
Ready?
I'm done.
Okay. On to no straws needed.
Okay, I love this photo. Anybody who can take a picture like that, I'm pretty excited about. And wildlife photography is something I aspire to, but really haven't done very well at. I love the colors. I would, if I were pulling things out, I'd take that out. But the colors are lovely. The fact that we've caught motion, way cool. Other than that, it's a fabulous photo, and he looks pretty in focus, at least on this screen he does, which for me is just, wonderful. So good photo. I really like it. I just take that thing out.
Right. Next, we have Crawl Princess.
This is a whimsical composite photo and a lot of fun. The lily pads initially were very confusing to me because I knew they should not exist so perfectly with their stalks on the hard surface they're on. But I really like how sharp the hand is too next to the blurred foot. It helps me to go to a place that is more, fantasy. One of the lily pads is slightly bleeding onto the back of the girl in the foreground. I don't know if it matters. It's very subtle.
Upset about something?
Only one of the
Should we ask
girls
my wife?
has on the princess dress, but maybe a title that refers to both girls would be nice.
Today.
This composite
She would
photo
have to
took me
fight.
to another place, and I applaud this creation of a new and
Oh.
interesting visual.
Right. Okay, next is Uvas Spiral. Is this yours?
Oh, no.
Okay, so Jill had to step out, so I'm going to skip that and we'll come back to it.
Okay.
I think Helplessly Hoping
That's
is
fine.
yours, so if you would, please, thank you.
It's a very intriguing photo. I love the black and white. I love the tonality. Personally, I might have pulled it up a little bit more, but it's very close. It's dark, but it's meant to be dark. I mean, it works as dark. I could, again, we don't know, looking at monitors, we don't know exactly how much of that darkness is meant to be a dark pool, right? But just on the monitors I'm seeing it, I wonder if we just a tiny bit more. It's definitely caught an intriguing moment. It has that wonderful kind of noir feeling that it's definitely a photo you can look at for a long time and speculate what's going on. With the male figure looking this way, the female figure looking the other way, with all sorts of stuff going on, with a sign up there I was trying to read and was not successful, with the receding perspective, with the all the what? Anyway, with all the different textures going on, with the emotional content and everything, I found this an extremely intriguing photo. What did not work for me as well, again, I'm going to complain about the title because this is such a mysterious photo. It could go a million different ways. I feel like the title, Helplessly Hoping, imposes to some extent a narrative on there that I find limiting. Because, I mean, the immediate interpretation of the immediate impression you get from Helplessly Hoping is that there's a relationship between the two of them, and one of them's helplessly hoping for something else. And that's almost the most obvious narrative to me, because it could very well be that one or the other of these two, that there is a relationship between the two, and there is some hoping going on. But that's almost the most obvious, and it almost takes away some of the multi-level mystery going on here. Maybe he's helplessly hoping, and he's out there in the cold, literally, from the way he's dressed, and she's inside. So maybe he's helplessly hoping, or maybe she's in there helplessly hoping, or Maybe he's sitting there with a gun in his pocket and he's about to go in, ghost the bitch.
Wow.
Maybe she's looking for a frying pan to hit him over the head with. I mean, there's so many ways. Or maybe it's just a random moment. Maybe he's just sitting there waiting for a bus and she's looking at the clock to see when her shift ends. There's so much going on here. We don't know. I wish there had been a more neutral title, like 10:35 p.m. or something like that, that lets your mind go everywhere rather than saying, okay, it's a thwarted love thing.
Frying pan? Is there a misogyny much?
No, power.
Okay,
She could.
are you quite done?
I'm not quite yet. Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. We skipped you, I think yours, so we're gonna back up to it now.
Okay.
Uvas Spiral, I think is yours. No?
What a lovely photo. Is it a rug? Is it a painting? I just don't know. It's lovely. It would make a great print on a wall. The colors are fabulous. It's lovely. And you know, I'm not good with understanding abstract photographs, so forgive me because my background, photojournalism and industrial work, but it's lovely.
Right, and next will be Amorphic One.
Okay, we all like this photo very much. It reminds me of the way mud cracks after it curls, after it dries during a very hot summer day. The light is highly directional and the very bright areas toward the top really accent the image nicely and work well with the dark cracks. The very subtle rose-colored hue is also very pleasing. I like that everything in this picture is in sharp focus. Though the cracks in the surface, through the cracks in the surface, we can see the additional dark pieces that have their own cracks. Very interesting. This adds more depth to the piece and another layer of interest. The title suggests that there are other photos in the series, and I believe there is enough going on here to make a series of these images very worthwhile.
Let's see, A Glimpse of Warmth Within.
That's me, and I really like this photo. I really want to like this photo. I really do. I like taking images of graphic things a lot. It's not warm, it's blue. Now the red is warm. But for me, I want to see more of the window. I would have loved you to back up. What's going on with is this a red building with squares? I want to come back more because it's so compelling. I love images that come through windows an awful lot, and the blue is just stunning. So I would want to come back, get the whole window. Whatever you did, just get that whole window. And I think that would be, make it a much more complete image. Maybe I'm not really big on worrying about titles, but on this one, the warmth within, it's a cool window. You know, you're cool. I want to be cool in there. And the AC is probably going in there. So, and then just juxtaposed to the red blocks, but a great try, just back it up. Let me see the whole window. But otherwise the colors are stunning.
Right. Onward to Those Eyes.
This is a beautiful photo of the snow monkeys, and we probably all have seen many of these photos. There's a lot of nice things going on here. It's caught an interesting moment where both of the monkeys are looking away. One of them's kind of a little bit not quite staring at the rear, and one of them is looking way off camera. And it's an intriguing moment that is caught and pretty sharply in focus. The main subjects are pretty sharply in focus. So all in all, the cool tonality of the water versus the warmth of the faces works really well. I love the detail in, again, the backlit kind of fringe of hair all around them. Very nice. The reflections in the eyes are beautiful. And so in all those technical details, it's a very successful capture. This is another one where I think about the margins. I would love to see more headroom. Yeah, see Gary's wanting margin. I do too. I could wish for more all around. So I don't know if this is a crop or if there's more to discover there. I would like to see, you have a swirl of water on the left side that I would love to see more of. And then I just want more airspace on the top and the right. And I think maybe we could lose a little bit of the bottom where it gets, where the depth of field kind of goes fuzzy, just a tiny bit out of the bottom. So I think with a slight tweak in adding space and cropping maybe a little bit of the bottom would make a more successful image. But all in all, it's a very cute, very beautiful image that is very, very close to very successful.
I do want to comment on that. Just this screen does not do the camera, does
Yeah.
not do this photo justice.
Yeah.
You know, we were, this is really cool.
Yeah.
You know, and so that, you know, it, especially on this. So just that caveat.
Yes.
Okay, on to lounging in a haunted house.
This photo feels very spontaneous and unposed. There are two light sources. The left leg of the chaise lounge has red reflections and the right one has violet reflections, the one on the far right. But I believe the door is keeping the violet light off of her face, which is good. The red light on her skin works great with the other reds in the photo, and I'm glad you didn't try to color correct that. She's totally relaxed, and that is a big part of the appeal. I wonder if the photo might be stronger if the right side of the chaise lounge and the door were cropped out of the photo, and if we had a little more on the left, and if those high heels, which are kind of easy to miss, I think if we move the frame over to the left a little, those would come out a little more, which I really, once I saw them, I really enjoyed them. Also, I like the dress material cutting across the image and traveling all the way to the floor.
I gotta jump in here and say that spontaneous, unposed.
I may be wrong. You know what, in my head, I told a story in my head, which is that I'm in a haunted hotel and they're saying, move along, move along. And I'm like, but I am interested in whether or not it is posed or not.
Okay.
Like the bear.
The look of love.
This is a stunning image. Another wildlife, you know, we've been blessed with great wildlife photos here. And this pretty much is doggone perfect, you know. Now, like I said, this monitor's not doing it justice because there is delineation around that large loon's head. So, you know, be aware of that when you look at it on a proper screen. This, and, you know, we've got this light casting on it. So, you know, you get it. The light shedding right on that breast of the mother loon is just stunning. The fact that it's not dead center is really lovely, and that she is looking toward the center to her little baby loon. I don't know, what do you call it? Chick, sorry. The baby loon. And, you know, the loon is looking back at the mother. And, you know, both of them are just, you know, she's really watching out for her kiddo, and, you know, he's depending on her. And the catching that red eye, dang, that's cool. So we all agreed that this was just a stunning image and pretty much spot on.
Awesome. And finally, into the clouds.
This is another very technically successful photo. To shoot at that angle and have everything focused, everything straight, nothing weird and distorted and everything is a tough thing to do. And the clouds are interesting. The reflection of the clouds, that's a very good visual for the maker to catch that and have it, you know, encapsulate it, you know, in that well seen, well captured, technically very good. And yeah, I technically I have nothing negative to say about it. I can't find any nits to pick about it. It's very nice. I will say I find it a little bit, what's the word, sterile? I don't feel any mystery to it. It's just a nice photograph. And I'm being a little harder than usual because this is the advanced people. When you get to the point where you can do something this technically good, I didn't find the emotional resonance resonance that we found in, for example, the one Jill was talking about, the beautiful composition and technique of the mother and chick, emotional resonance. So the only reservation I have to talk about on this one is just why, what's it trying to convey? And is there emotion here, or is it a purely technical exercise that is obviously a very successful technical exercise? But more and more, I want more than that, especially from the advanced people. And this is clearly an advanced photographer.
Okay. All right, and that wraps up advanced. So what we're going to do is we're going to go there and pop out of this. That's going to turn on again. Judge's choice. Click. No. Change this. Good, that worked. All right. Judge's choice. We have the honorable mention is Balancing Act from G Swab. Oh, I can't say your last name, G Swab. I'm sorry.
I think we have him online.
He's online.
Gisela, are you online?
Ask him to say something.
Yes.
Muted.
Do you care to comment on your photo?
He's muted. G Swab, you're muted.
So I know what happened. He was shooting through a screen. I also know that there's about 1 million tutorials online about how to deal with shooting through a screen, and none of them work.
Hello?
There you go.
I should have known that.
Yes, I am.
I've done the same thing.
Cool. Okay. So I did more of pictures of this dragon at my pond with koi, and the picture at the library is a different picture, and so I have many more, and I thought that this one has nicer background. So thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
All right. Oh, cool. Okay, now another honorable mention is going to be Nick Grossman, Those Eyes. Nick is not online. All right. Getting confirmation over here over my shoulder. Okay. We have third place, Crawl Princess from Mary Day Long.
I knew that was yours.
Pretty obviously it's a composite. Did everybody get that immediately? Anyway, I was at the Zilker Botanical Garden, and these two girls were running around, running riot, which was great. And then they just went down on all fours and started crawling, and I loved that, so I grabbed it. And I liked the straight photo, but then I thought, okay, what can I do? And in the same, a few minutes later, I was shooting the lily pads. So I'm working more and more with layers and composites lately, especially which can give you very weird effects in infrared. So I had a lot of fun doing this, and I think it's going to be kind of a new challenge and direction for me. And I had an awful lot of fun with it.
Since you've been so nice to everyone about their titles, can you address only referring to one princess in your title versus both girls?
Only one had the two.
Princess dress on,
Princess skirt on.
but she's not crawling.
Yeah.
The one in the back's crawling.
That's a good point.
I'm getting all over you about it.
Good. Point taken.
You know what?
Yeah, I like his explanation. I take that on. It's a bear crawl.
You know what my story I made up was that you may have known the mother, and you actually had frogs on lily pads, but you didn't want to tell the mother that you'd named their daughter frog.
No, actually, the title came from when I saw them go. I had been watching the little princess girl going around, and when she just went down on the,
Yeah.
I'm like, I love it. And I in my head, I was like, crawl princess. So that's why that's the randomness of the title.
It's a lot of fun.
All right.
It really is.
All right. Second place in advance goes to Cody Addison for Helplessly Hoping. As you know, Cody's not here tonight. That's why I'm here. He's not been feeling well for a couple of days, so he asked me to substitute for him.
We don't get the mystery.
I would like to say one thing. I thought maybe that's a mirror and she's looking at him and quite contemptuously too. I've seen that look many times.
Yeah, she's a
It's
mirror.
on mirror too.
Yeah, it's on there.
All right. And first place is going to be Cheryl Callan, The Look of Love. You have anything to say?
Where was the photo taken?
That was in, sorry, that was in, British Columbia.
Oh, it's lovely.
And it just, that looks terrible up there, to be honest. It's not that terrible.
How did you manipulate the colors? Because it's so subtle and not at all.
Happened to be swimming and the background was black. It was all in shadow and it turned the water black. And everything else just, if you expose for the whites on the bird, everything else just boom.
Really nice. Good catch.
Yeah.
So you're in the right place at the right time. Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, on that trip?
This scene.
Oh, I don't know, thousands, I'm sure. You know, I have a 600 book.
Awesome. All right. Well, congratulations. Very cool. Now we're going to jump to the people's choices. Which are bronze goes to Patrick. And Sam, what would I say?
Okay, tell us, Patrick.
Okay, so this is 5 images of the same thing. The camera was rotated 5 different times. And the original, which was put together inside the camera, was not as clean as this. This was put through Photoshop, and the AI generator in there said, oh, we're going to center everything and clean it all up and get rid of da 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 da. And it did. And so it came out extremely sharp and very nice. So camera.
More details on what.
Oh, what is that? Okay, so it is a relief image, if you will, on a wall of grapes.
Of what?
Grapes, hence the word uvas.
Where is it? Where's this image from? Where'd you take it?
It was on a boat that I was on for 19 days.
That-
Not a whole lot of things you can take on board a ship. And so you get creative. And so I decided the multi-exposure was a thing to try. And that's what this is.
So first you tried multi-exposure in camera and then you photoshopped it, and what technique in Photoshop?
All I did was, yeah, I stacked them in Photoshop and let it do its thing. And then after that, it's
It's an auto stacking.
Yeah, it did an auto stack.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so when I took the picture, this piece right here in the center, I made sure that the camera was centered on that every time. So that when I wasn't anticipating Photoshop putting it together so well, but when it looked at it and said, oh, we have one piece that's always in the middle, it's always there, it's the same image, basically, that it took it. It was going to rotate them anyway. The rotational portion of it was the camera being rotated 5 times, 6 times, whatever it was. But it just, I was so tickled when I did that, that I spent the other 18 days rotating my camera. It was great. So, but yeah, it's a gold. So it's like two pieces of, or 2 sets of grapes hanging down, and they're, you know, like on a vine. And so there's just the one, and I just found one piece of it that I said, oh, I'm going to rotate my camera around that one piece. And it's a relief on the wall. It stood out about, each one of these gold pieces here is about 3/4 to a full inch high on the wall or out from the wall. The wall is the blue.
Yes.
Well, I do.
I wish we had a picture of what it looked like originally.
Well, that's the cool thing about the camera I use is that you can set it up to, to capture all 5 or 6 or whatever number of multiple exposures you're doing. So yes, I do have it. Anybody wants it, I'll be glad to send it to them. No. So, but yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
Right.
whole concept here. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So the People's Silver goes to The Look of Love. The people chose for gold those eyes. And then gift photo. Awesome. And that is the end of advanced. All right. Anybody want to make any comments on any of the images or anything?
Up the one with the window,
Pardon me?
the one with the window.
Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on.
The glimpse of warmth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So just so you know a little about what's going on here, the reflections are all the snow and stuff on the outside. So there's a hill with snow and sticks and things. And this is a house from 1777 that I stayed in.
Wow.
And then on the inside, it's actually, you're trying to warm it a lot, but then we had some tulips in there and the light, and this was in Denmark. And so had the snow and things that I was trying to show on the outside, but for me, I'm thinking about how it was warm and cozy on the inside and trying to have the light and the flowers contrasting against the snow. And it was just a interesting building. It's constructed with the beams, and I don't know how they make it.
Do you think you could have warmed up the flowers, or maybe, I guess that's a light fixture hanging?
There's a light fixture hanging there, and
Because I spent some time looking at it and thought it doesn't, I could see there was something reflected. I couldn't quite tell what was reflected, but I thought inside, especially with the cool color of the window, I thought it doesn't look warm inside. It looks, especially against the
but
red.
what I'm thinking is that on the outside, it's actually super cold.
Yeah.
And I know that's all snow with little dead twigs sticking up through the snow in
Yeah.
the reflection. So.
But what you know and what we know,
I
like
know.
how,
I just thought
could you have warmed it up a little bit more, like just especially the flowers, for example? Is that a possibility to convey better what you were seeing, to convey that to us? I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
If he would do more, there would be not a glimpse. It's supposed to be a glimpse of words.
I actually didn't crop it that much. I was using a telephoto lens and getting a pretty close thing, because this is one that everyone thought Gary did, because this is his style with the bold lines and the partial window and stuff. So if it was intentional, I probably squared stuff up a little bit, because I'm actually standing a little bit on a hill as I was taking the picture. But I just wanted to give a little bit of an explanation of what it was.
Anybody else want to make any more comments or talk about anything in particular of the photos we've talked about? If not, I want to say a special thanks to 2 new members who jumped right into judging. And you want to say anything about jumping in? Do you want to urge other members who haven't judged? Does it hurt? Did it hurt?
It didn't hurt.
No, it didn't hurt. Most of my career, I was a good photographer, but I was a better photo editor. I looked at a lot of photos. I could quickly see what was going on, what was working, what was not working, and that's kind of my strong suit. All of them were lovely to look at. I like looking at other people's photos, and they're always interesting to see what people shoot. It's like, and for you wildlife photographers, I do struggle with it. I have a telephoto lens, but I don't use it very often because I'm still kind of hung into just graphic images. So but it's really cool.
We'll say Cody works hard every month to find 3 judges, and we want input from as many diverse sources as possible. So I don't care how advanced or how beginner you are, you have something to say, and what you say is valid, and we want to hear from as many different points of view as possible, because when you hear us critiquing, everybody in this room is going to have a different view, and we want to hear it all. So if you haven't judged, or if you have judged, or if you haven't judged in a while, jump in and do it. I think it helps you judge your own work, and it helps the club sustain and stay interesting and keep things fresh. So kudos to these two, and let's get the judges, let's get judges working.
Yeah. I like that I didn't have to say that this month, so that was really nice. Thank you. Okay.
Mentoring us a little bit.
Thank you,
Very helpful. In
A couple more comments. So I'm having a great time working with everybody and hearing different perspectives. I want to hear from everybody, right? And what we're trying to do is formalize our judging procedures and how we incorporate the membership into that. And we are going to give guidelines and then let people express themselves and provide their opinions and things like that. So everybody's welcome. We've decided the level does not matter. It is because there's something here for everybody to learn, and everybody has a perspective that we want to hear. Okay. That said, Cody asked me to mention we need 2 judges for July, for next month. I don't know the theme off the top of my head, but if you are interested, July. This is, pardon me? Golden hour. Okay. So if you're interested, communicate with Cody. All right. I don't need to volunteer here. You need to send an email to Cody if you're interested, because he's a coordinator. That contest will close June 30, I think, ish, something like that. Pardon me? It closes the 6th, I guess. Okay, it closes 16th and we wrap it up on, right. Okay, you're right. 16th, the middle of the month. So golden hour coming up. David. Okay, well, Cody. Pardon me? Okay. So you've already volunteered? Okay, great. Nothing scheduled photo walk wise at this point. We'll do some stuff. Don't forget about the exhibit takedowns that Verlin told us about. See, education we talked about. Got a guy coming in 2 weeks. That sounds like lots of fun and fantastic. And we will see you all, if not Thursday, then a month from now, right? Yes.